Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Kyle Wright 425 podcast. I am your host, Kyle Wright, and tonight I am joined once again by my older brother, Eric. Make your presence known.
Well, hey.
Oh, well, hi.
Well, hi.
And tonight we have a special thing going on in the background here. I don't know how well you can see it, but we are currently watching a live stream of the Earth. And we're gonna...
so if I do look up, I do have the camera at a different angle. Both of us do.
Yeah.
So if I do look up, it's because the TV is directly behind me or behind you, I guess, on the camera.
Right.
So I'm not necessarily staring into the camera the whole time. Just FYI.
Yes. So
and also it does kind of look like it's still because it's now pointed towards you.
Yes.
Which I am looking at. But
yeah,
we're gonna see how this goes.
It's a whole different setup. We're not sure how this is going to go. But what I will say is that I wanted to go ahead and plug this channel because this is an official live stream, I believe. If not, then if someone's faking it, they're doing a great job. But space videos, and it is Earth views, Earth from space seen from the ISS. So we wanted to go ahead and just give them credit. We went ahead and muted it. We're not using the what's going on? What's wrong? Don't worry. Everything all right? Keep going. You're scaring me. No, keep going. Oh, I see what you're doing. Okay, everything's good. But regardless, we wanted to go ahead and just plug these guys because we're gonna have a really cool view of the Earth behind us while we are talking about this. Although it's probably going to be very, very small in the background, but it's here nevertheless.
It is. Sorry about that. I had to
fix something.
So did it?
Everything's good now?
Yeah. Does it still look relatively the same as it did?
You look no different.
Okay.
You're fine.
All right.
You look just as good as you did when you were 12, son.
Great.
Apparently you're not a fan of yourself when you were 12. Okay. So I wanted to start off this podcast with a bit of a different intro because I forgot to tell you something that I found out about very recently.
Okay.
So you remember when PT was a really big craze on the PlayStation like store and network? It was the new teaser trailer for Silent Hill. Mm-hmm. It was the first person thing. Well, apparently with some of the new leaks that are coming through, the allowed leaks, by the way, it's not nothing bad, but just some of the things that people are starting to gather is that apparently the developers of the game want to be able to connect to the lights and different objects in your house to manipulate them while you play.
Whoa.
Yeah.
No, dude. I don't know. That's not cool because let me tell you why.
Yeah.
When that,
at first, dude, I was super stoked about it, but the more and more I thought about it, I was like, that's kind of messed up.
Well, one of two things has to happen. Either they're gonna have you sign or release or whatever a form to like take control over stuff in your house, or B, you're gonna have to have like a whole like nest of like speakers and Googles and all that stuff to hook up to like be able to do that. I'll bet you.
Right.
Maybe. I don't know. They get really weird with stuff now, like how they can do stuff. So no, I don't think that is something that should be done.
Yeah.
That's a little invasive.
Yeah. I mean, the idea of it is cool. I think that it started out in a very good place that they want a full submersive experience where it's like even the lights in a room that you feel safe in are flickering.
The only thing that I can think of is that maybe somehow through the game, like I said, if you have it hooked up to like your Googles and all this stuff, like maybe it does have like a virtual reality thing where it knows when to do those things. So that could be different. Right. So again, it might not be as creepy as it sounds, but if it's one of those where you got to like, agree to something or whatever, nah, dude, I'm cool on that. I'm cool. That better be embedded into my PlayStation or Xbox that the game's doing that through,
Right. And it's, I don't know. It was
that's interesting. But that's interesting. That's very interesting.
I mean, because now we're living in the day and age now where pretty much anything is possible. So if you want to create an atmosphere for your game, because to me, I feel like, I've actually had an idea for developing a video game, and I actually don't even mean to bring this up, but like this has actually just hit me, and I've never really vocalized it before. But it would be for people that really truly want the full experience of what a game can offer. I've thought about it whenever I've played Outlast and I've played, different survival horror games. What if you actually had to be quiet?
See, that's different. I feel like because the microphones, like in a game, like like Rock Band,
Right.
like you can pitch it, like you have to do that. So like that's already in video games, and stuff. So like that's really cool. That's a really good idea, man.
There's been parts of me that
Or like
has thought that it would be really cool to see it happen, and like it would be very easy to execute because it's like, well, cool, you just have a mic on, your mouth or whatever, and
right.
then, you can react and you have to hold your breath or either not, make any noise. But in the same hand, what if your dog barks at a part that if you're trying to be quiet? So I try to think of things like that ahead of time, but I love.
I'm sure
the idea.
There's ways around that.
Yeah, but I love the idea of a complete submersive thing, especially because PT, just as a game alone on a console, scared the hell out of me.
What's funny is I'll bet you could probably do it more so with like the VR, because that's like a heads-on. Like I think there's even headphones maybe in, almost in a sense,
right?
But yeah, I don't know. That would be really cool. I really want one of those. Like I really, really, really want one. I'll probably get one. It'll be one of those, the PlayStation 5s will come out, and I'll bet you those will drop in price.
Probably, yeah.
So,
if not, definitely guaranteed it probably will. So,
yeah. So I mean, like I don't
guaranteed
know.
It probably will
because like even like watching like this stuff back there, the space, like it's almost kind of like that feeling. I've done a couple VRs. I've never done the PlayStation one, so I mean, but I've heard it's pretty legit. That's like a whole different experience, and like it like brings you right to it, just kind of like right there. Like that's borderline makes me feel like I'm there a little bit.
This is
space is so now. Guys, remember, if you've listened to any of the other podcasts, Kyle is like deathly afraid of space.
I am.
It's a big phobia of his.
It actually, I kind of manned up tonight because I wanted to have a live stream on behind us just to at least just have something in the background, because this is, kind of like as a note just for, the channel and like everything, that we're doing, is that we're always trying to find ways to, progress and like, to do better. And, I feel like, like having a TV on in the background, even if you can't really see it, I feel like it's like the step in the right direction. It's like, I want stuff to, I want to, do stuff to basically submerge us and the audience in the subject matter that we're talking about. So
yeah,
it's small little steps like that. So if we do dumb little stuff like that, that's why. But I don't want to get on the whole thing about that.
And again, like we try to appeal to everybody.
Yeah.
So we try to make sure that it's always about something interesting or different, or it's not always the same shit. So
yeah.
I think you're right. And slow progression is still progression.
Yeah.
So as long as we don't just stay leveling out. And you said we've gotten a couple more, I should say, you've gotten a couple more subscribers, whether it was from this or not.
Yeah. It's definitely very different than, when I came over from, TikTok, and then, this all, started to kind of pick up. So it's a very different thing, but either way, I'm happy about it, man, because right now I really can't do Bob the Demon videos. I can't do, what I want to with it. And, it's something that I really want to be able to do again, but I can't do what I want, and what I want is awesome. And it's like, so it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, I've said it before in some live streams. I've said it, in some videos recently. It's like, genuinely that stuff will be happening again. This is just, I want there to be consistent content on my channel. And this is a way to do that, and that's actually been it's been really helpful with that. And I mean, we even talked about it today, where it was like, hey man, we keep doing it, even if we have screw ups, because even the past live stream, there was some things that didn't sync up, and that was just us learning what to use and what not to, and it's a learning process.
Yeah, guys,
so
we are starting off here, so like we're trying different cameras. I'm using my phone. He's using a different camera. Like I'm trying different things. He's trying different things. So bear with us. The visual is not always going to be there perfect at the moment, but it will be. Yeah. It will be. So there will always be a video, I guess, with every podcast, but it might not always be both of us, or maybe something might happen. So we appreciate you bearing with us, even the people that are always watching and listening. So we appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
but
all right,
let's go ahead and get to the subject at hand, which I'm going to start doing something is that one of the things that really irritates me about certain podcasts and certain things is that I hate it whenever I have to, figure out when they're finally going to get to the topic that they're going to talk about. Because sometimes, like, even Deep Fat Fry can take like a half hour before they'll even get to, like what they're talking about. I did something on the most recent upload. I said that the beard facts start at like 28 minutes or whatever
I'm glad.
a certain time.
I wondered how hard that was for you to do.
I just got to watch it and figure out where it's at. So,
but I mean, I didn't know how hard that was, and how much this goes. YouTube, it makes you go into it. But I haven't started my channel yet, and so I don't know how much of me thinking this is just really simple to where you're like, nah, man, you have to do this or this. So I don't know. It could have been a lot of work for you to timestamp that. I don't know. So, anyways, yeah, let's get started here.
So with that being said, I have a deathly huge fear of space. Yep. I am terrified of space. It is something that didn't really kind of hit me until probably, I don't know, my late teens, until like I realized like how scared I was of it. I used to have this irrational fear, and now I'm actually kind of mad that I didn't think about this when we were doing phobias. But I used to have an irrational fear that gravity would just quit.
Really?
And that I would just rocket up into the heavens, and just like, it was just that idea of like that lack of control. Like I was actually afraid to take out the trash a couple of nights because like I had that irrational fear of that happening.
What, like the ceiling was going to stop you if that was the case?
Oh no, the ceiling would stop me, but it's the idea of that, well, everything is now in zero gravity. So it's like that. It's it's being trapped in all of that. Like that's where my mind went. Like it's insane, man. So like that's kind of where it started, and it birthed more and more. So because I think we talked about it on Bizarre Phobias, where everybody has their irrational fears.
Right.
It's like, why would I even be scared of this? Kind of like the whole like a duck watching you. Like it was that whole idea. But I decided that with a bit of bravery on my part, that I can venture in and talk about some things about space. I thought that would be kind of fun. And also Markiplier, one of his favorite things to yell is space, just because he loves space. There's space. Okay. But nevertheless, hello, Trina. You're not going to go over to the board. For everybody that's watching, this is Trina. Say hi, honey. Say hello. Yep, she's not happy. She was trying to go for the board, and we can't have her pushing buttons, so... But tonight we are working with real paper. We're working with some legit things, and tonight we're going to be talking about some space facts. So it officially has begun now at 15 minutes and 5 seconds. Post, Kyle, when you edit this. 15 minutes and 5 seconds. Jesus. So, space facts. Space fact number 1. This is what's going to probably add into more of my fear, but... Number 1, from theplanets.com, space is completely silent.
Yeah. No one can hear you scream in space.
Now, I was hoping you were going to say something super creepy like that after that, because I'm already uncomfortable. This says there is no atmosphere in space, which means that sound has no medium or way to travel to be heard. Astronauts use radios to stay in communication while in space, since radio waves can still be sent and received.
I would hope so.
Dude, it's insane. I think I even remember in science class hearing about that. Sound is traveling out from the Earth, like, like from even back in the day, that they're still hearing like 1960s like radio broadcasts.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I heard that when I was in middle school. It's the idea of like the energy and stuff like from sound and everything is still transferring out into
crazy.
into space essentially.
That's crazy.
It's the waveforms. It's weird, but in the same hand, it's like, but space is silent. So I don't know. It's weird, but yes, that idea of just like the void. Because we've talked about it before, like the idea of if you had a chance to go to space, would you? And I said it would have to be an absolute perfect experience, like for me to be able to go. I would have to be drugged to the point to where like I am in a coma, a medically induced coma. Then you would have to launch me into space
and then like wake me up
slowly in a room that is zero gravity, but it's not blatant. And then I can adjust accordingly. So yeah, that would be and then the process would basically, it would work itself backwards for me to come home.
That's funny. Oh my god.
I'm that terrified of it, dude. It's insane.
Well, I mean, yeah,
I've never been there. I don't know if it's really that scary.
Yeah, me either, man. I mean,
it's hello. No, but oh hi. What's up, man? You coming to chill? We're testing out the cameras tonight. So he wants to talk about space too, Dad.
We're going to talk about space.
Hey, Dad, I heard that the rings of Saturn taste like actual milk. Or something. I don't know. Those dumb dog thoughts.
All right.
So moving on.
Get on to the next one here. Thor.
Number 2.
Let's see. See if you test your knowledge here.
Thor. What is the hottest planet in our solar system? It's at 450 degrees Celsius. What is it? Okay, no answer.
Mercury.
That's a good guess. Let's see what it says, because I don't know, because I didn't read this paragraph.
Oh.
Venus is the hottest planet in the solar system and has an average surface temperature of around 450 degrees Celsius. Interestingly, Venus is not the closest planet to the sun. Mercury is. But because it has no atmosphere to regulate the temperature, it has a very large temperature fluctuation.
Interesting.
So okay, so this is kind of what stems into like my mentality of what makes space terrifying is that, number one, you can't survive in space. There's no Jimmy Neutron and his friends, flying in their, little spaceships and stuff.
Know?
I mean, because space is void of oxygen, bro. It's void of temperature. It's void of, all that. I think it's actually at 0 Kelvin. It's actually
what if some dude's out there like pimping around and is like,
Are you about to say that? Are you about to say like the moon landing didn't happen and all that? Like you think that everything that we depict as space is wrong?
No. Well, I mean, yeah, I don't think the moon landing really happened. That's a different story. But
wait, do you legit think the moon landing didn't happen?
I don't know. I get pretty iffy on that sometimes.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't know that about you.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I go back and forth, and only because like I'll see, hear, or read different facts, and then I'm like, oh well, wait.
Right.
I'm like, oh fuck. But no, I'm saying like some like alien, and I don't mean like some like, doesn't necessarily mean some green purple faced, thing, but maybe something's out there just like cruising along in his 2-seater.
Well, if it's like an alien, then I wouldn't count that, because then it's like, what if they found a way to adapt,
Well, yeah.
It's like they don't have to worry about that. We are nowhere close.
But they've got like the technology to help us. Like help me if I'm out there like just like floating around.
That's right, because you want an alien like Paul. You want like, you want an alien you can talk to and like hang out with.
Well, I mean, I just want an alien that's not gonna like
probe you.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, just do anything dumb to me. Man, he was sitting so perfect looking at him. He was that perfect, like, All right.
So, number 3. There may be life on Mars. Check this out. Of all the planets in our solar system, apart from Earth, Mars is the one most likely to be hospitable to life.
Mm-hmm.
In 1986, NASA found what they thought may be fossils of microscopic living things in a rock recovered from Mars. Which is crazy that if there is such a thing, because then it's like, okay, so how did it get there? What's the origin of it? You know, it's like, what, like, you know, like where did it come from?
They've stated before that, like they're trying to, like, put people on Mars and build.
Would you do that? Would you live on Mars? I know it's a pretty big question, but I mean, like, what do you think? Or even like what that would even be like?
If it was something along the lines of where you could actually have a life. Now, I don't mean like clearly you're not going. This is where people would have to understand you're going to give up until they figure out I would imagine, foolproof dome somehow on every planet, like every section. But you're going to have to give up that, like, 3-bedroom house with the backyard and all that. Like,
and there's real people out there that will volunteer for that, dude. Like, that's crazy.
But what I'm saying is you can still have cool shit and nice place. I would say once it's finally more so along the lines of being hospitable and where I can go like to a market per se or something like, yeah.
Right.
Or once it's at least to where I don't have to wait on like my food to just show up. If I can grow my own stuff there, even if I have to become a vegan for a while, I would probably do that, or like MREs to some point. Yeah, I probably would. Now, right off the rip, no.
I mean, my answer either way is going to be absolutely not.
Yeah, but I'm going to live there. I'm not just like flying around kicking it, and then
dude, it's
like I'm going to be grounded.
Honestly, you know what? No, there is a way that I would go to space. There is one way. I would do what they depicted in the movie Passengers with Chris Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence. I don't know if you ever saw that or know anything about it. It's actually surprisingly a really good, really good movie. But essentially what it is that they are a part of a really big mission to basically take the human race deep into the universe. So I can't remember where they're going or like what their true destination is, but essentially they very well could be going to Mars, but I only saw the movie once, so I'm not going to claim to be like an expert.
I don't know what movie that even is.
But what it is that the plot of the movie is really cool because Chris Pratt's character wakes up way too early. His cryogenic chamber malfunctions and he wakes up, and he spends a long time on the ship by himself.
Really?
He can't get back to sleep. He tries to work on his pod to get himself back because he has something like 90 years before they're going to make it to anywhere close to, where they're going to land. And he's on this ship by himself for basically 90 years. So he's going to live the rest of his life. Now, the cool thing about it is that he has everything that he could need because everything in the ship was made to sustain life. So it's not even a question of whether or not he would be able to live. He absolutely can live.
It's just going to be boring as shit.
Yeah. And the moment that he finally hits, I guess like his breaking moment is that he wakes up Jennifer Lawrence's character and claims that it was a malfunction too. And it's the idea that they fall in love and just like everything that comes with that. So it's like, it's a very, very interesting film. But what I loved about it was they kind of had this movie theater area of it. I realize I've been on this film for, a minute, but, and what was great about it was that the window to it, if you even want to call it that, or the hologram or whatever it was showing you what was outside, was like a dome around you. And you sat in these seats while you could look into just the void that is space. You could see galaxies, you could see everything, because
See, that would be sweet, dude.
I was thinking about that because the ship was made to do that. It's, to me,
Like,
when I look at, technology as to where it is now, it's that we have fully proven that, we can take people to space. And they can come home, assuming assume space travel is real. But it's just one of those things where it's like I don't quite trust it yet.
would you do something like how Star Trek is?
Like beam me up, Scotty?
Well, no, I mean, would you live on what's it called? I don't know what the fucking ship name is called.
Oh, the Enterprise?
The Enterprise.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I would live on the Enterprise.
See, that's what I'm saying. Would you do something like that? See, I would.
See, that is.
That's what I'm saying. Sustaining life.
That is a very, very different thing because there's. I'm going to get super nerdy, but it's one of those things where it's like living on the Enterprise would be very much like not much would change.
Well, that's what I mean. Again, you would have to give up your. Now you can have stations and docks that's like a mission ship, but like I'm saying like something of that nature, because again, you can have those like condo like experiences on, in space eventually, like I would imagine, of something of that nature. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
That I would do that, but even the Enterprise, I would. You're going to give up not having a house.
Yeah.
Like
normal life.
A normal life in that way.
I think that in a very weird way, I think I'd be into that.
Me too.
That's what I mean. It would be like the idea of that. It's like no one else is doing this.
I would do either. I would live on the Enterprise or just like a cool like station, like
Yeah.
to where you have like your cities and cool, cool shit like that. So yeah, definitely.
I think that if it was further in technology, I think I'd probably like trust it way more. Like the Enterprise would definitely be a no brainer for me. It's like, hell yeah. It's like there's endless hallways, and even like, I don't know if you remember this from the movie Resident Evil, but the one before they went completely off the rails.
It's been a long time.
When they went into the hive, like underground, like where everybody was working, against all the walls, there were windows. And they had pictures up of like skylines in metropolitan areas and stuff with sound effects and stuff. And it was like, yeah, it makes you feel like you're still up above the ground.
Right.
It's like it's small stuff like that. It's like I've always wondered if it's like they like if that could become something to help with lunar madness.
Definitely.
It's like it kind of helps like regulate you.
It definitely would. I would do something of that nature. Like in a bedroom or something, to where I can be in a room and then be like at the beach, like where it's all my walls. Oh God,
yeah. If I could have a holodeck, or whatever to make that happen. If we're gonna go Star Trek, then absolutely, yeah, that would be.
But that's what I mean. Like I have a room where it's pretty much all 4 flat walls, so that's why I figured like more so like a bedroom for the most part, and yeah, just kind of chill. Like that would be cool. I would do that even like on Earth. Like I would do that.
Yeah.
I would get a room where you just kind of go in, you and your friends or whatever, and kick it, and it can be anything. You can go anywhere. You can do anything. So that'd be sweet.
Yeah, it's the initial idea of launching into space, and now we've detached, and now we have to attach ourselves to a station, and it's like all the things that go into making it work the way that it needs to.
Yeah,
and that shit's scary to me, especially like with being thrown out into space, and like the whole idea of like what gravity has said.
You're all about this getting thrown out into space, man. So
man,
should we take a break or?
Well, let's do one more fact here. So this is kind of more into the idea of, we had a conversation about stars the one night, and this kind of takes that same idea of what I was driving home.
Okay.
And it says number 4 is nobody knows how many stars are in space.
That's crazy.
The sheer size of space makes it impossible to accurately predict just how many stars we have. Right now, scientists and astronomers use the number of stars only within our galaxy, the Milky Way, to estimate. The number is between 200 to 400 billion stars, and there are estimated to be billions of galaxies, so the stars in space are completely uncountable.
Wow.
So it's because you think about that, where it's like every single galaxy has billions and billions of stars, and there are billions and billions of galaxies that are out there.
Do you know what I think would be sweet? Is if, like, I don't know, if you knew you were dying somehow, you could like make that your thing, or like they could just shoot you into space and you could just like free ball it for like a few days.
I mean, you know
And
what?
like somehow have enough like I don't even know, like you could just eat pills or something to like give you nutrients until you just like eventually, maybe they could do like some cool like soft music after like 2 or 3 days, and then it just like this gas like comes in, and just like, oh, you finally just like, but you're dead, like, and then it just like finally kills you. That'd be fucking sweet, dude.
Would it?
Dude,
You're just like, dude, you just like got super morbid there. But in the same hand is that you would see things that nobody else would see.
yeah, maybe they can even like,
I get it's morbid, but I get what you're saying. It's like you would see the deepest parts of the galaxy, and I would
Like-
actually, if I was gonna go out like that, I would want the strongest rockets on me to propel me the furthest I could go. It's
Well,
that,
but that's what I mean,
'cause
more-
it's like if I'm gonna already dip my hand into this turkey, it's
yeah,
like,
I'm
just
going
go
all the
for
way
it.
in.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean. Like, give you like 2, maybe 3 days out there, and it's more so that, like, again, you would be in like a suit or something to where you're not going to like suffer like hot or cold or.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, I believe in this, reality we're talking about. You are in perfect conditions up until the moment that your heart flatlines. It's that.
Yeah, we're like when that like sweet gas comes in, like, yeah. But like, but and even at that, if something like ridiculous is happening and a fucking meteorite's coming at me, I'd be like, let's go, because it's gonna be over in a second.
You know what I would love to have is I would love to have the live stream of the Voyager.
Well, no,
The one that's like still out there, like documenting everything in the universe.
But see, that's what I was saying, is that even at that, like, maybe you could have something like attached to, maybe that's one of the things that they do, that you can have them where everything is always different. So that's how you find out more about space, is the people that go out there have like a video camera or something that like they see specifically in that area.
I think you just came up with a plot for a movie. That what if that person, that's on this one way trip has found something,
then they survive,
and then they survive. Yeah,
he was 98 on Earth, but on planet Voltron.
wait, what did you say? Voltron. I said Conchuca.
he's only a mere 13.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah,
he's like Superman, but a lot less cooler.
Yeah.
Or something.
But no, I would do something even like that, whether you're old or not, or if you just had like a terminal illness that was not, curable. I would so do that, man. If that was an option, I would be like, put me on that one.
Yeah.
That one right there on the next flight, please.
It's like, you get to choose like what area of space you get shot into.
Can I take moon space cake? Like, can I eat that? Like, I would too. Could you imagine?
No.
I would be the highest person ever.
No.
Literally.
I don't look, you're mixing a fear with something that is unknown to me, and that scares me even more. So I don't want.
Man, that would be awesome.
No, that's to me like that's like saying like, hey, I want to do. I'm trying to find the best way that I can say this without somebody soundbiting it and then ruining everything for me. But screw it, whatever. I want to do cocaine, monster, and like everything else. Like just like like this person's just going to load themselves up and go. All right, now we're just going to see what happens.
I want to know.
Taking chill upon chill upon
out
chill.
There, if you guys are a smoker, anything like that, would you do that? would you do something like that in space?
Dude, that would
So
be
comment below. I don't know how this whatever down here.
that is yeah,
So, yeah.
It's below. Yeah, below.
over here,
Comment
up
below,
here.
yes. Dan and I actually used to have a graphic that we used to put up on Drunk Gaming, which was that bing, and it would go comment below. But I'll be fucked if I'm going to watch this entire thing and put it everywhere. So that's when I'll hire somebody to do it.
All right.
And they'll do it. But
All right, so break time.
I think it's break time. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and pay some bills. So you guys go ahead and enjoy this ad, and we're gonna come back with more space facts and more discussions about said space. And here we go. And we are back with some more space facts. So the next one up. This is kind of a famous one. Halley's Comet won't orbit past Earth again until 2061.
Wow.
Discovered in 1705 by Edmund either Halley or Halley. The famous comet was last seen in 1986 and is only seen once every 75 to 76 years.
Man, that's crazy.
Now, this next one. These might get a little quicker, so we'll just get
fine.
your reaction out of them. A full NASA spacesuit costs... How much do you think a NASA spacesuit costs?
Like helmet and all that stuff.
Yeah, everything. Yeah.
80,000.
80,000. That's a good number. You're off by a lot.
Really?
A full NASA spacesuit costs $12 million.
Oh my God! Really?
It says while the entire suit costs a cool $12 million, 70% of that cost is for the backpack and the control module, which damn right it should be.
Wow. So the suit itself probably is like 80 G's.
Yeah, it's probably. This one's actually a lot of fun. This is a fun fact too. I did not know this. There may be a planet made out of diamonds. Diamond planet.
So is that? I wonder if that means like it was eventually, or not eventually, but at one point was like mostly made of coal, like the matter of coal.
It could be. Let's see what it says.
Interesting.
As space facts go, this is pretty impressive. Research by Yale University Science suggests that a rocky planet called 55 Cancri, I think that's what it says, which has a radius twice the size of the Earth's and a mass 8 times greater, may have a surface made up of graphite and diamond. It's 40 light years away, but visible to the naked eye in the constellations of Cancer.
Wow.
And that's what's so crazy is that it's like being able to see what we can see in from here. It's so wild.
See, like right now, like I'm watching, I can see it's like an aerial view of Earth, and
It's
like,
sad that I forgot that we had that up there.
well, yeah, you're not really like paying attention to. I can see it a little bit better, but
Right.
it's a different. I don't know if it's like a different side or like whatever at this point, but it looks way different right now. Look at that. Sorry guys, I know that you guys can't see it, but what I'm seeing right now is really incredible. And that's the thing about
beautiful.
space. Yeah, and that's the thing about space is that it is truly incredible when you really get down to it, because while it might be scary, and I get where you mean, like it's terrifying and like it's scary, but like
it's
at
the
the
black
same
void.
time, see, yeah, like that doesn't bother me. Like I could be floating and watching this right now in person
Ooh, man.
and be okay with it.
I would need full control, man. Unless if I knew in any way that it could falter, I wouldn't do it.
Man.
I'm that terrified of space. I want to, dude. I want to enjoy it. I really do, but man, it's too much.
Who knows, man? Maybe one day you'll face your fears.
You know, I did do a thing on the channel called Fear Friday, where it was essentially me listening to different EVPs, or if there was ever ghost footage, I would react to that, or different stuff like that. But I thought about that at one point, where it's like maybe I could turn Fear excuse me, maybe I can turn Fear Friday into something a little more, where it's like,
Yeah.
like do shit that I'm scared of.
Yeah.
I can't believe I just said that, which means now that I've spoken that into existence, that's probably going to happen. So,
Well, I mean, you start off small, but I mean,
I'm just going to go skydiving first one right off, like just like just make it.
that is that's a bucket list.
Is that a bucket list for you?
It is.
Is to go sky? You've never gone.
No.
Interesting.
There was I'm not going to get too far off of it, but there was an individual who was no longer with us. We were supposed to go skydiving, and then a very unfortunate incident happened very shortly after this event was supposed to happen, and it just never did. But it's something I've always wanted to do, so maybe that'll be something to knock off my bucket list in the near future as well. And we'll be talking about some bucket list, maybe like a junk drawer here in the next like 2 weeks, and you guys will understand. But anyways, back to what we were talking about, is we talked about this not that long ago. Is that I forget who the quote was from, but they asked something about, it was some like famous, like really intelligent person, like I don't know, like was it Edison?
Thomas Edison, or yeah,
I don't know. It was something along that lines, but they asked him about aliens and like, if we were alone in the universe, and he said something that really made me think about this. Man, that is beautiful. Look at that.
Isn't that cool?
Sorry, guys, again. But
I can appreciate it, but in the same hand is that, like, if I look at it quick, I'm fine. But if I start staring at it for too long, dude, it starts messing with me.
I'm like fixated on it. But no, they asked if we thought we were alone in the universe, aliens or anything like that, and he said both are equally terrifying. If there is something out there, that's terrifying, and if we're the only things, that's terrifying.
To me,
and that was like, whoa. That's weird to think about it like that.
Well, some people take that more on a cosmic scale, and they'll use that for like the idea of God, where it's like, the idea that it's like, if there is no God, then we are hopelessly alone in this universe. But if there is one, it's like the idea, it's like, it's which one's better? Is it better to be watched or to be alone? That's both of them suck, in certain aspects,
because
but
just
in the
like
same
you
hand,
said, space is so big, like, it's infinite. So just because they're like, oh, well, they're not watching us, we can't see them or whatever, like maybe they are advanced or whatever. But even at that, maybe we just haven't run into them yet.
Right.
Like, so that's kind of crazy to think about. But anyways, all right.
Check this out. Number 12 on this list.
Mm-hmm.
If two pieces of the same type of metal touch in space, they will permanently bond.
So like if I took this piece of metal, this rod, and then this rod in there, and then put it together, no matter how I put it, it would be permanently.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy.
Check out the explanation as to why. It's at first you're like, oh, it's magic. It's like, no, this is actually genius. I can't believe I didn't even think of this possibility. This incredible fact is also known as cold welding. It happens because the atoms of the two pieces of metal have no way of knowing they are separate. This doesn't happen on Earth because of the air and water found between the pieces.
Huh.
So without air and water, they basically fuse, essentially, and they cold weld.
Interesting.
So maybe a really cool
then how does like
cool thing for a movie.
How does like the spaceship and everything like stay together then?
I think it's because, well, I mean, it's already put together. So it's
Right.
the idea of,
But like if something like touches it though,
they've probably already allotted for it. The gears are so separate from each other, and like the thing, because they're also probably different elements too. So that way it's because it's only if it's the same element.
Metal. Oh, okay, okay, that makes sense.
And actually, even in theory, if you were to alter the solid just even slightly, it probably would even help that too. If you were to add something to it that maybe would like not be normal. But this was the last one that was on here, but doesn't need to be our last thing of discussion. But There is a volcano on Mars 3 times the size of Everest.
I think I remember hearing about that.
This is my first time hearing about it, but yeah.
I don't know. That must have been one of those weird things on like Facebook or something.
Those like videos you see at like 3 a.m. they get you
Yeah.
roped in. It's like, how deep is the ocean? And you're like, why am I watching? Like, no,
Yeah.
like actually, you know, what my favorite thing is are the guys that dig out pits in like India and they make like, you know, high tech, like, you know, flood, like, you know, like not flood, but like water systems and stuff. And like, they like, dude, oh my God. Dude, I like try to look for one every night. It's so great.
That's funny.
But it says 600 kilometer wide and 21 kilometer high Olympus Mons is a volcano on Mars that may still be active, according to scientists. It's the tallest peak of any planet. However, I'm not even going to try to say that word, the whatever group of people and or place, central peak on the asteroid of Vesta is taller at 22 kilometers.
Wow.
That's just, oh my God. The idea that it's like, you know, like, Matt, like, think about the very first people that looked at the moon, and it's like they thought to themselves, "What if we could go there?" And it was such an unattainable object. Like, think about like biblical times. Think about like the idea where it's like that type of engineering hadn't even been thought of yet.
And that's what I'm saying. Like we touched on that in another one where like the technology that has advanced over the years, even for us. Think about if somebody was alive back in biblical days that could see this right now, like almost like Encino Man.
Yeah.
Like how Encino, like imagine Encino Man happening right now, like how even more confused they would be. This is a world of technology and like extravagant things, I guess. Like is the only way I could think of the way to say it, because like it's such like almost like ridiculous things anymore.
Yeah.
And going to space, like a motherfucker threw a car in space that he made just
Elon Musk,
just because he could.
Yeah. He has figured out everything that he needs to know about how to do it, and he did it.
That's what I mean. Like look at that. That's where we're at in time now, to where it is, you can kind of basically do anything. Going to space is kind of almost like a weird rich luxury right now. And think about it back then, like even in like biblical times when you had money and a big house or whatever you want, a castle and stuff. Like people just like have stuff like that now. They're just called millionaires. So it's like it's the same kind of thing. So
getting commercial flights to the moon and different stuff.
It's like now it's just kind of like a luxury where you can volunteer and have enough money to go to fucking Mars, like you were talking about earlier. Like that's a real thing. So do I think that in my lifetime that I could be able to free ball it like I was talking in space? Excuse me. Possibly. I might be a little older, like maybe kind of on my deathbed, to be honest with you, but I feel like that is something that's pretty obtainable in my lifetime.
I think that if I was going to do that, I would want to see everything on the earth that I possibly could. It's like, that I have experienced everything I can experience on this planet, and now I'm moving on.
See, that's the thing, is I always joke about that I'm not going to live past 40.
I hope that's not the case.
I don't know, man. I've always had that weird, awful, like kind of messed up gut feeling for a long time. It's hard to explain, but let's say I do. I feel like that would be obtainable. Like if I lived a normal person's, like old person life, that I would see that in my lifetime.
Right.
Now like I said, I would do everything in my power to do what I was talking about. If I'm 90 years old and it's like, sorry, sir, you have stage 4, whatever this new cool disease is, I would just be like, cool, dude.
COVID 85 or
Yeah,
whatever. Yeah.
like, can you just give me the Buzz Aldrin treatment? Shoot me off in a pod.
That is not a legit thing. Let's be clear. The Buzz Aldrin treatment is created here on the Kyle Wright 425 podcast as a joke. It is not a real thing, so I don't want to hear any letters or anything about that.
Maybe I want
later
the
on.
Buzz Lightyear one where you're like,
Buzz Lightyear to Star Command? Go ahead, Star Command.
why are they not responding? No, I think that would be cool because again, the technology is definitely there, and somebody from biblical times to see this now would be awesome to just like, I don't know, almost like I said, like a Bill and Ted, Encino Man mixture. This would be awesome to do, and just to be able to show them around and have fun because it would blow their fucking mind.
I've thought about showing Uncharted 4 to somebody that just invented Pong and would go, and I would look at them and go, hey, check this out. Little do they know that gaming is only getting better with the Unreal Engine 5. It's like they wouldn't know how to explain it. They would be like, I saw a camera follow somebody through the most impossible situations. It's or not even a camera. I can't even say that. It's like, I watched somebody.
Made.
Somebody would probably look at it. I'm trying to hit that again. Somebody would probably try to say that there was something that was flying. So maybe like I looked through the eyes of an angel upon somebody as they went through everything that went, went wrong around them or went right, or, however they would put it, into words, because it's interesting when you start to see how people describe things that they can't describe. Yeah. And what's interesting is that I think it was actually on the Joe Rogan Experience that somebody was talking about God, I hope it wasn't Alex Jones, but essentially what it was that this guy that had interacted with the aliens supposedly, allegedly, in the 70s said that he looked at what they were doing around him and they were essentially layering what looked like wax on top of wax on top of wax until it created structures. Now, what's crazy is that back then he didn't know how to explain it, but what he was looking at was 3D printing.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
So think about this, about the things that we think are limited on or unlimited on. I think that an idea of like passengers into space, like that whole Chris Pratt movie and everything, I think that's just the tip of the iceberg. I think that space travel is going to eventually someday turn into something that is common. It's if not common, maybe a necessity.
Almost like the Jetsons. Like obviously not a cartoon.
This is where you get into an avenue of getting really fantasy,
where you can like
fantasy wise, or fantastical, if that's even a word.
Like zoom back and forth. Like
I would look at it as I try to be as brutal as possible when it comes to real life stuff. Like if somebody were to show me like, hey, there's this teleporter where it's like, oh, cool, it's like it's the whole shimmering thing from Star Trek, and then you're somewhere else. Like no. If teleporting happens, imagine the toll that it's putting on your body of you going like light years away.
That's why they perfect it first.
Well, and what I'm saying is that it's like now I don't recommend the movie for the context of what it was based off of because it's not the same, but like Doom, the way that they got to back and forth between Mars and ironically we're talking about Mars, but how they got back and forth between Mars and Earth, it was brutal. It was like when they come out the other side, they're throwing up. It's like it's a terrible experience to go through.
Yeah, but you can go, but still.
And at one point too, they even threw like a flashback in there of Pinky when he lost his legs too. He's like, you better be careful, like, or not be careful. He's like, you better be thankful because back then we used to have turbulence. And he's like, wait, what do you mean turbulence? And he
my
goes,
ass ended up over here.
He's like, he went to one galaxy, his ass went to another. And it's like it's horrible.
Yeah.
And see, and that's the shit that scares me too, where it's like, oh my God, like what if, it's like, what if I'm the guy that gets ripped apart and, the
and then you're not going to feel it.
How do you know that? How do you know that you can't?
It'll be instant, dude.
This is something.
It'll be instant.
When people make assumptions like that in movies where it's like, hey, man, he got hit by a car, it's like, or the car fell on him or whatever and crushed him instantly, didn't feel a thing. How do you know? He obviously had to die somehow.
Well, no, like that's different, but like being ripped apart into particles from going from outer space to another galaxy.
We don't even understand how that works.
That'll be instantaneous. That'll be like Thanos snapping his fingers.
So your testicles and ass would just blip out of existence, essentially.
Just done.
Just goes to the Andromeda galaxy to some poor, child that looks at it and he's like, "What are these? What is this? It's even bleeding, Thor whatever it is."
Agrees with me. He agrees with me.
But no, it's just the idea, the fact that it's like, I would say that anything from the technology that we're going to develop, years down the road, and also as far as aliens are concerned, yeah, even throughout any of the belief systems that I've held to in my life, I've always looked at aliens as like an indefinite fact. That's something that's always been something that I've always thought of because, my belief system at that time was something that, like I said, if you believe that, you can believe anything,
We'll run into him someday, but
just not yet, huh?
What do you think? You got any more space facts?
Let's take a look here. Take a look. See, what else does the universe want us to know about the said universe? We'll see if this is the last one. We'll see. The sun's mass takes up to 99.86% of the solar system. Made of 3/4 hydrogen and helium for most of its remaining mass, the sun accounts for 99.86% of the mass in our solar system, with a mass of around 330,000 times that of Earth.
Wow.
So whenever you see the, diagrams of our solar system, it's the idea where it's like, no, the sun literally takes up so much of it. It's crazy where it's like, it's so dense. It's more dense than the friend of yours that told you to snort pixie sticks in high school. Did you ever have a friend that told you to do that?
I did it.
You did it. You were the guy?
Bro, we all did it. And two,
I didn't fucking do that.
I do stuntmans.
Dude, no. Care about yourself.
So that's snorting salt.
Oh my God, no. There was this.
It's a shot, guys.
There was this kid. I don't even remember his name in high school. I couldn't even tell you. We're completely gonna go off of space here, but it's my podcast and I can do whatever I want. So, there was this kid. For the sake of hiding his identity just in case if it ever becomes a real thing.
Pete.
Yeah, we'll go with Pete. Yeah, Pete. Yeah, that's not even
old Petey.
Old Petey. Yeah, Petey moved to our school kind of at a time that I don't really remember when he showed up. All I know was that he showed up and everyone knew who he was.
Yeah,
and I want to say that he looked at me in the middle of sitting like in the library and went, "Hey, man." "Hey, man, you want a pixie stick?" And I said, yeah. Sure, because I enjoy pixie sticks. I thanked him for his generosity, and I
enjoy pixie sticks.
Yeah,
so who doesn't? Who doesn't like just straight sugar?
Dude, it's everything you could ever want as a kid. Granted, I think I was 17 at the time, but I was not an adult yet. So I just
still a kid.
He's like, yeah. So he handed 17-year-old Kyle a pixie stick, and Kyle did with that pixie stick with what he does with every pixie stick. He cuts off the end, or rips off the end. Tries to pour every single last bit of sugar into his mouth, but can't because you get this little caked wall that happens on the end of the pixie stick, creates a little subversion anus that nothing can get fucking through. It's all trapped, so then you got to sit there and play with it until it fucking breaks loose. What?
Do you know why that happens?
What?
You bite it, don't you? You bite the ends off?
No.
No?
No, I don't bite ends off.
Then that means
I'm not a savage.
that means you're touching it with your mouth at some point.
I mean, it's already about to
Yeah,
beat
but
down my gullet, so I didn't think it should matter.
Yeah, but when you touch the end and it gets wet and sugar is going past
makes sense.
That's what's gunking it up.
I guess it makes sense.
Not in your mouth. Yeah, you gotta not touch it.
All I'm saying is that okay, so that's the struggle I'm going through. It's kind of like Milk Duds to me. Milk Duds.
I love Milk Duds.
Bro, Milk Duds are infuriating to me. They
Why?
are so I'll tell you why. Because the very first time that I was ever handed Milk Duds, I think it was actually Aunt Heidi. She's going to come up again. But she
It's one of her favorites.
Yeah. In fact, I believe it is
her favorite.
Yeah.
And then I think Reese Cup is like a hard like second, almost first. Yeah.
No, I just remember popping a bunch of Milk Duds in my mouth, and I was like, "Oh, sweet, this is great." I went to go chew, and I realized this is not a candy you chew. I don't know how I even had teeth after that.
But yeah,
it's just, dude, it gets stuck in everything. It's just, it's infuriating.
Some of my top like sleeper candies that I love is Milk Duds, Rolos, and Reasons.
Rolos and Reasons.
Mm-hmm.
There's a candy named Reasons.
Yeah.
Reasons?
Resins.
Okay, all right. Reasons.
It's
they changed the pronunciation of raisins and hope no one would notice.
There's no raisin in them. It's just caramel. You don't remember the things? I'm pretty sure that's what they're called. I don't have my phone. It's recording. Yeah, Reasons. It's I believe.
Well, now you got me curious, so I want to see this.
Dude, they're bomb.
Reasons.
They come in like kind of a fancy like pull around like pull off. What is happening?
I believe we have a cat that's in the bathroom.
That's why he's over there so much.
Well, I can't find the reasons, but what I can find is an ending, and I think that's what we're going to do. I'm going to let the cat out of the bathroom. Our cats love to go into rooms that they're not supposed to, and they hide, and then the door is shut. I wondered
why he was over there, like, trying to get out. Who went into the bathroom?
That's Trina.
No, who?
Well, I don't know. Me or you. One of us.
I didn't go in the bathroom on break. Did you?
Probably.
We went upstairs.
I don't know. Maybe it was the boogeyman.
Ooh. That's weird. All right.
Oh, well, who knows? Nevertheless, though.
Turn your stuff off. Go to bed.
Oh, wow. Well, I want to thank everybody for being a part of this and watching this far. If you've made it this far, we greatly, greatly appreciate you. Very much.
We do. We really do. Again, I'm going to say it probably every time. If you're watching, comment down below. Yes, I figured it out this time. Thank you. What you want to see from us. Tell us what you think. Do something. Or you can email him at KyleWright425@gmail.com. Or you can email me at shrootfarms83@yahoo.com. And that's it.
Absolutely. And if you guys are not following us on Spotify, make sure you do.
Oh, yeah.
And subscribe to us on YouTube as well. That way you never miss an episode. And the thumbs up and hit the notification bell. We're giving them a lot of things to do.
Subscribe, all that stuff.
Yeah. Tell all your friends about us.
Want to see this more? Do it.
Everybody wants to see that more.
Yeah.
No.
All right, guys. Thank you.
All right. I'm getting off of here. Au revoir.